welcome in to Your Health. And we have something today that we want to talk to you about that I hope we can touch your heart with. We have with us Ann Rayburn, who is Legacy of Hope. And she is the executive director. Are you the director of education?
Director of education,
That's
yes.
what I need. I need to get educated about organ donorship. And folks, please listen carefully. I asked the other day, is there an age cutoff? And actually, even though we get a little older, there are a lot of parts of us that would be wonderful to help someone else. So don't let age deter you.
So true.
And listen, let's talk about organ donorship. First of all, how does one go about donating organs?
That's a great question, and thank you so much for having me today. The most common way people register to donate in our state is through the driver's license. So when you go, the clerk should ask you, are you an organ donor? If you say yes, you'll have the red heart on your license, and then you're a registered donor. But if you're watching this today and you feel inspired and you don't want to go get your license or you don't need to, you can register online through our website, which is legacyofhope.org, and indicate your decision to donate that way as well. They're both equally valid, and we then, before we speak to a family about donation opportunities, we're going to check that registry so that we can share that information with the family.
Okay, so let's say that I mark my driver's license, or else I go online or call you, get in touch with you and say, hey, I want to do this.
Right.
All right, then realistically, I'm in the hospital. We know that I am not going to, I'm going to go to heaven and go home, but I've got my family there. So what is the process at the end of life?
So a lot of things happen behind the scenes. So hospitals are required, this is a national requirement, to call their local organ procurement organization, which is what Legacy of Hope is, and notify them that they've had a patient that has died or whose death is imminent in the hospital. The purpose of that phone call is so that we can do some medical screening to see, is that patient a candidate? Because while a lot of us may want to donate, there may be some things that rule that patient out. And we want to then be sure if that patient, that we approach the family only if it's appropriate. So if the screening happens and that person is not a candidate for donation, then we don't ever interact with the family.
Okay.
But if they have some donation opportunities, then we'll speak with the family, share their registry if they're a registered donor. If they're not a registered donor, then the decision is 100% up to the family, and we'll walk them through that process. So the family doesn't need to do anything until that screening has happened, and then we'll speak to them after that.
All right, then the question that comes to mind to me is, suppose that I really want to do that. Mm-hmm. And I do still have maybe a good cornea, maybe some of my organs are still perfectly good. But you go to the family and they say, no, I don't want that. How do I ensure that this happens, that what I want happens?
If somebody is a registered donor, you've already made the decision to donate. So I have the heart on my license, probably not a surprise. So when something happens to me, there would be a family conversation, but my family wouldn't have to give permission for me to donate because I've already given permission for that because I said yes at the DMV. But if the family, if the individual isn't registered, then the decision is 100% up to the family. It goes to the next of kin, so the spouse, adult children, however that priority is, and then they get to make the decision about will this person be a donor and what are they comfortable donating. So they would have some decisions between, do you want to donate all the organs? Do you want to place restrictions? Now, most families and most people who register, they just want to help people.
Right,
and so they don't normally put many restrictions. They just say anything that would help somebody, that's what I want to do.
So if you have registered, then the decision basically has been made.
Yes.
Your family really can't block that.
Legally, no, the decision's been made. What we really encourage people to do is once you register to donate, have a family conversation about that. It doesn't have to be anything long and dramatic. just, I think it gives the family some confidence that their loved one really did register and they really wanted to donate. And you never know, that conversation might inspire
someone
else
to
to say, yes, I want to donate, that I hadn't thought about it. You know, none of us like to think about the people that we love not being here forever. But unfortunately, that's the reality.
What better thing to do than to save the life of someone else? And you have all of me that's useful. I am telling
Thank
you
you.
now on TV.
Well, we're grateful
I would
for
like
that.
to leave a legacy of hope. And thank you so much for coming on. And I hope this will enlighten some of you and help you to help those people by giving hope to folks. And thanks for being with us, and we'll be right back.